Are you all going to be there? Is the band getting back together, Jalen, under one roof for one goal and getting back
Excuse my
together?
singing, but I don't care. I just love to have fun and be happy. The boys are back in town. Yes. And here's the thing. There was a fracture in the relationship between the University of Michigan and the Fab Five. It happens in families. It happens with your friends. And it always varies on how you're feeling about the situation. So for me as a Detroit native, while I was not being acknowledged as a former basketball player, I still was a donor. I still have a scholarship endowment that's graduated a couple of kids. I've actually had a couple of my kids from the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy not only attend Michigan, but I had one graduate already, and another one's going to graduate later in the year. So I've never stopped loving the university, but when there was a separation and Chris had to do his 10 years, I was like, I'm going to ride with my brother. So from 1994 to 2011, I didn't go back to campus either. And I didn't talk about the relationship that we had with one another. I didn't talk about my relationship with the school unless I was asked. And you started this interview by saying, I'm on as many shows as probably anybody in the industry. So when I get asked about real-time situations, whether it's the NBA Finals or whether it's what's happening with Michigan, I'm going to give a respectable answer. And so now all of a sudden, the separation has ended. So how can Michigan now say we're going to also bury the hatchet? They did it and dropped the mic by hiring Juwan Howard. That lets you know that the relationship went from being one that we seem to almost tolerate each other to now we're family again. So, yes, I do anticipate that happening, and we're going to be there to support Juwan, to support the program. And you know this, Rich, we want to win. Like, Michigan has a unique fan base and respect on campus that, unlike other schools, some of them are considered only football schools. Some of them considered basketball schools. We're expected to be in the top 10 in both at all times. And to be the only school in college right now, Division I, to have a former football player, Jim Harbaugh, and a former basketball player, Juwan Howard, leading those programs, it just feels different. Let me give you an example. Coach Cal is one of the best coaches in collegiate basketball, has done a terrific job wherever he's been, UMass, Memphis, and now Kentucky, where he's been the matriarch of the one and done. He owned it even when Coach K was denying it. He did a great job in Memphis, but it's just different when you hire Penny Hardaway because you saw him in uniform for that team. You cheer for him. You understand that he's going to have a level of commitment, and that's the commitment that we now have because we now feel that the hatchet is buried when they hired our brother Juwan. And it's not just the Fab Five. You know this, Rich. I idolized Glenn Rice, Lloyd Vaught, Terry Mills, Ramil Robinson, Sean Higgins. Antoine Jobert went to my high school. Leslie Rockamore before me. The General Gary Grant. Roy Tarpley's from Detroit. My high school coach, Perry Watson, coached at Michigan while I was there and coached Juwan. And so there's so many tentacles that were splintered at the University of Michigan as it related to our relationship with them. But again, when Juwan Howard gets hired, all of that gets buried. Now we're all for one for all, and supporting the program and trying to continue to elevate what John Beilein established.
And you and C-Web, do you guys need to hash anything out yourselves, Jalen?
Of course. There's some things that we're going to hash out as brothers, as men, that will do off wax, I'm pretty sure, at some time between now and the union that you're talking about. But for those that don't know, we go back before Michigan. Like, we played on the Super Friends with Curtis Hervey when we were 13 years old, going to St. Louis, going to Washington, D.C. We decided that we were going to go to Michigan together. He didn't wear number 4 in high school. I didn't wear number 5 in high school. We chose those numbers because we were the last two to sign our letter of intent. So our relationship go way deeper than Ann Arbor. It starts in Detroit. And now that we're responsible adults, it's up for us to be leaders and men to show people that we can have conflict resolution without drama or without any disrespect. And I think the hiring of Juwan now also gives us a baton to now give us a sense of urgency to make it happen. And I believe and I'm sure that it will take place.
Yeah, I got Juwan coming up in the next hour, and I'm genuinely excited about all this, Jalen. And just to bring this all full circle and put a button on it, you pointed out about how going from college as a teenager in your 20s and then becoming a 40-year-old and you're a professional and then you're a father or a mother or whatever as you go throughout your life. What the Fab Five has done. I mean, I just mentioned everything that you've done, that you've become at ESPN. C-Webb doing what he's doing on Turner. Juwan is now the head coach of Michigan basketball. I'm not completely familiar with what Jimmy King and Ray Jackson are up to. We see Pelinka, interestingly enough, in the news here in Los Angeles as the GM. It is amazing what has happened with that team here now in 2019, Jalen.
Our fingerprints are everywhere. And I literally, in Toronto, just got finished doing a hit with First Take. Walked right out of the building. It was 4 people standing in front of me. One had a son named Jalen. One had a daughter named Jalen. One of them was named Jalen that I was taking pictures with and signing autographs with.
Man.
So it's bigger than just basketball. And now that we've gotten a chance to graduate in life, it's the score of the game and it's the game of life. And your naysayers are going to always judge you by your worst moments or always going to throw in your face what you can't do or what you didn't accomplish. So I want our story to be one of maturity because what people saw from us as collegiate students and now hopefully what they're seeing from us as taxpaying citizens and people that are giving back to our community and trying to have a positive influence and successful individuals that they now can draw strength and understand that they can grow and be better as they continue to get older and mature.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.